What's up, guys, and welcome back to Young Christians United. So I have a short lesson for you guys today. We're going to be taking it out of Luke chapter 15 and the story of a man who's been called the Prodigal Son. Starting in verse 11, we see that a man had two sons, and the younger one went to his father and said, "Give me the inheritance that I would have. I want it now." Basically walking up to his father saying, all that stuff you were going to give me when you die, give it to me now. I don't want to wait for you to die. I want to just pretend like you're already dead, take my stuff, and live my life. Now, oftentimes I've heard people talk about this and say, he demanded of his father. He went to his father, "You have to give me this." That's not what's indicated here. He went and asked his father. His father made the choice to give it to him. Now compare this to the life of the human on earth. When they reach the time in their life when they're able to think for themselves and make decisions for themselves, and they look to their God and their Father Creator, and they say, all that stuff, God, that you promised me whenever I die and go to spend eternity with you, I want it now. I don't want to wait for it. I just want to act as though it's already happened. I want you to give it to me now. And God, being the creature that he is, giving us free will that he's given us, he said, okay, if that's what you want, I'll give it to you. You can take it now. Now, following on in the verse, the young man leaves home. Now, of course, he didn't have much of a choice. He basically just told his father, let's pretend like you were dead. Give me all this property and these sheep and these cattle, and I'm going to do my thing. And then what? I'm going to sit here and not do anything with it until you die? Well, that makes it completely pointless to have even asked in the first place. So he's got to leave. Now, obviously he didn't pack up hundreds of thousands of acres and hundreds of thousands of sheep and cattle and shove them in his pockets. That'd be ridiculous. So of course he probably sold it all, either to his older brother or back to his father. Now, this points to the immaturity of the young man and the fact that anybody who will go out with that much money on their bodies is completely stupid, because you're basically asking to get robbed at this point. So he takes all this stuff and he goes on a journey to a faraway land. That's kind of how, going back to the story of the human, when he goes to God and says, I want all these things now, he has no choice but to leave God's family. He might turn to the carnal things of this world, but he has to leave God's family. He can't demand all the things that we're told to wait for, things that are coming, and then remain in the same situation we were before and act like none of it's happened. So this young man gets to a foreign land, and he wasted his substance with riotous living. He lived like a fool. He didn't know how to spend his money because he was young, because he was immature. And so what did he do? He partied, he ate takeout, he slept in a hotel or an inn, he didn't buy, he didn't invest, he didn't know how to spend his money. He just spent it. He said, I have it, I'm going to use it, I'm going to use it, I'm going to use it. When you take the wonderful things that God's given us, and you decide, I want to use them now, and turn to carnality, into fleshly desires, into the things of this world, we don't know how to handle the many, many blessings that God has prepared for us. Things that he knows how to give to us and how to help us use come eternity. We have no idea how to properly manage those. And so what do? We turn to whatever pleases us at the moment. And eventually, we run out of steam, which is what happened to this young man. He ran out of money. When he ran out of money, you can see his mindset starting to change. He realizes, hey, this isn't working. So he's like, I'm out of money. I need to go get some more money. So he went to go get a job. Now his mindset's starting to get fixed, but it's not completely there yet. He said, I ran out of money. I wasted it. I made a bunch of bad choices. So now I'm going to try and work it all back. This is like the person who realizes when they hit rock bottom that they need to somehow fix their life, so they turn to being moral. They try to live a good life. They don't cuss. They don't drink. They don't smoke. They live a good life. They help people out. But it didn't really help this young man out either. He got the worst of the worst jobs. This man's a Jew, and he gets a job feeding pigs. The one animal out of all animals that's probably the least clean for a Jew to touch. And he's feeding these animals. And not only is he feeding them, he's so hungry, he's willing to eat pig food. Now, I know sometimes in my life, I'm a teenage male. I've been hungry. But I've never, ever, 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 ever been hungry enough in my life to look at some dog food and say, that looks delicious. I want to eat some dog food because I'm so hungry. No, I've never been hungry. This guy is starving to death. And not only is he willing to eat pig food, he's willing to eat the leftover pig food. After the pigs are done eating, he'll eat what's left in the trough. Now, he gets to the point where he realizes, this isn't working. So he goes on to the next step. He goes to the next step. He says, my father has all these servants in his house, and they live way better than I do. I'll just go back and see if I can be a servant in my father's house. Now, this is the person that realizes when they're moral, that their morality isn't doing anything to really help their situation. They're either staying stagnant or continuing to go down. So they turn to religion. They turn to doing all the right church things and the Christian things. Going to church, giving money, helping the poor, all these different things. Maybe leading psalms, maybe helping with a devotional, leading the class. But their heart's not in it. They're just doing the church thing. They're checking all the boxes. That's not going to help them any more than their works do. So as this young man is on his way back home, his father sees him afar off and starts running towards him. Now this shows me two things. One, the father was waiting for his son. He saw him from a long way off. He wasn't sitting in his living room and heard a knock on the door and kid said, "Oh look, it's my son." No, he saw his son from a mile away and he said, "That's my son." And he ran to him, which shows me that the father had a desire for that son to be back, even though he probably knew if he's coming back, he's either out of money or he's really messed something up. But it didn't matter. He wanted him back. And that's the way it is when God sees people turning back to him. Even if at first they're not doing it for the right reasons, or they're just curious. He wants to draw them into a full relationship with himself. And in the same way, this man, when he runs out and he grabs his son and he hugs him and he says, "My son who was lost is found. His dead is now alive. Bring out a robe. Bring out sandals for his feet, a ring for his finger. Kill the fatted calf. We're going to have a celebration." Now, I can only imagine the state of shock that this young man was in. I went and wasted all of Dad's stuff. I came back home, and now he wants to throw a party? But sure enough, the father is so happy. And we see part of why. If you go back to before the first passage, go back to chapter 15, verse 10. And it says, "Likewise I say to you, there is joy in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner who repents." Turning back to God from a life of sin is the thing that he desires the most. And the second thing to that is once you've gotten into that position of returning to his family, is staying there in the right way and for the right reason. So have you left the family? Have you gone away, whether it was because you chose from the very beginning, you didn't ever want to join the family, or as you got a little older, you decided, you know what, I'm done with this, I want to leave. I want to take all my stuff that I would have gotten, and I just want to live my life my own way. Or maybe you're on the brink of getting ready to leave. Don't. But if you've already left, have you realized that you're in error? Did you start doing works and realize these works aren't getting me anywhere? You turn to religion. Say, this isn't helping either. Now's the chance, now's the time. Come back to the family. We're all waiting for you. God's waiting for you. The angels are waiting for you. I'm waiting for you. Brothers and sisters all across this globe are waiting for you to come back to the family so that we can throw a celebration in your honor for coming back home. Think about it.